guys. All right. First off, you know, tell me a little bit about the book.
Well, Murderville 2 is a sequel to the first novel, which is Murderville Part 1. It's about it's actually a sequel to a couple that came over from Sierra Leone through drug trafficking and human trafficking through like a prostitution ring.
Okay.
So we just kind of followed up, and we actually at the end of Part 1, the main character died, and he left his girl to fend for herself, and we kind of tell her story. And she goes through LA drug rings, prostitution rings, and just trying to come up and heal a broken heart. She actually had heart surgery, and she had a replacement heart, and she actually meets a guy that just lost his girlfriend and had to donate a heart.
Okay.
And the heart that his girlfriend donated was the heart that the main character uses. So they kind of mesh together. It's a phenomenal.
Okay. What are some of the intricacies about Murderville that you would like to highlight for some of your readers? Just sort of like maybe as summaries that you could expect. Don't give nothing big away. But, you know.
Murderville is an intelligent street story. You know, it's a million authors on the shelves writing about shoot 'em up, bang bang, drug dealing, and we do that. That's what we known for. We known for the grit of our stories, but we wanted to drop some gems, drop some jewels in this book. We wanted to expand our readers' minds, grow them up a little bit, and make them aware of some of the things that are going on in other places besides, you know, the hoods in America. We took two characters from a completely different continent. We reached back to our roots. We reached to Africa and started there and wrote about two youths that were forced into the United States. They were brought here through human trafficking, and then they fell into the lifestyle. One, the female character, was initiated into the sex trade of LA, and the male character, of course, was engrossed in a drug gang. And life circumstances tore them apart. Fate brought them back together. So we mix the chemistry that me and him have. We mix love, we mix the streets, we mix the blood diamond crisis in Sierra Leone. We mix all of these things. That way the piece of work that we birth can relate to more than one type of person. It can relate to the hustler that's on the block, but it can also relate to the college professor that's in the classroom. It can relate to the student of life. It can relate to the student of literature. Like, it's so broad in who can relate to this work. So we wanted to grow our readers up with this project, and I feel like that we accomplished that. We were 17 years old when we received our first book deal. We were freshmen in college. But prior to that, prior to us going to college, he moved me out of my mom's house when I was really young. I was 16 years old, and I got pregnant. Unfortunately, the pregnancy was a failed pregnancy. I lost the baby, and the doctor had written me to bed for about 3 to 4 weeks. So I was in a really emotional state, and he could see that. He couldn't always be on my side because he was still hustling back then. You know, he was still getting money. So he challenged me to a writing contest, and it was his way of distracting me from everything else that was going on. He said, "I can write a better book than you." And me, I was like, "No, you can't write no better book than me." You know, I just took on the challenge. So I began a book, and he began a story. But when he would leave, I would sneak and read what he would write. And I'm like, this is hot. Like, this is the best stuff I've ever read. And we were both avid readers. We used to read, you know, all of the original street writers like Codus Winter, Terry Woods, and that's what we, you know, were readers of. But this surpassed anything that I had ever read. So I would add stuff to his story, and he would add things. We basically merged the stories into one book, and it birthed our first novel, Dirty Money. We sent that out, and within 3 or 4 weeks, we had 4 publishing offers on the table. So we just followed the money, chose whoever offered the most, really. And it turned out to be a very good decision.
Okay. When did you get on? Oh, I'm sorry for cutting you off.
Oh, don't worry about it.
When did you get on with Cash Money content?
Well, it was about 2 summers ago. Our phenomenal agent, Mark Gerald, he actually has a good business relationship with Cash Money, and they were starting a publishing division, and they handpicked us to help kick off their publishing company. And this is our second book with them, and we're related, you know.
Okay.
It's a beautiful, beautiful marriage between the two of us.
Okay. So how do you feel when your first book that sold something like what, a couple 100,000 copies?
Our best-selling book is The Cartel, which sold over 100,000 copies.
Yeah.
But Murderville is doing pretty good right now. I don't know the numbers exactly, but it's doing very, very well.
Okay.
And we have high expectations.
30,000.
Yeah, Mark told me it's at 33. 33.
So, I mean, how does it feel to watch money stack, legal money stack, in abundance, as opposed to, I mean, I'm from the streets too, I'm not going to say a lot of you born in the Bronx, grew up in Trenton.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? If it wasn't for me writing in my own little way, who knows? And legal money and dirty money stack different.
Yeah, it does. It does. It was an eye opener. Like when we first met, we met under extreme circumstances. When I was 16, I was running from the cops. I had about a zip on me, which is like an ounce of below. And I sold to a vice. So sold to them. They got on me. I started running, and I did behind her house. I didn't know her at the time. I did behind her house. I threw the stash in the bushes, and I ran up. They eventually caught up to me, and the cops like, yo, he threw something in the bushes. I saw him, so they had me on the curb handcuffed, and I knew I was gone. I'm like, man, they done caught me, you know. So I'm just waiting on them to bring out the baggie, and he like, yo, it's nothing in the bushes. So the other cop said, yo, I saw him throw that. He went over, didn't find anything. So eventually they had to let me go. About 3 days later, I got a call from Ashley. And she said, yo, you don't know me, but I got something for you. And that's what birthed it, you know. So we came from extreme circumstances that drew us together. And we just look at that game like parallel to this one. Like when I was in the streets, we worked together. Like if Ashley has a mean wrist game. Everybody know what that is. She was real good on the stove. So we worked together. And we just transformed that game to this game, and we worked together with the books. So seeing this stack up, it's like it still gets my blood going. You know, it's the same type of. I don't care. Like me, I'm not partial to selling dope. You know, I don't want to do that. I like money. So to see the money stacking up, I still get that same type of rush. You know, so I can pretty much say that it's the same rush, but with no consequences.
Could you describe life growing up in Flint and how it affected your artistic side?
Flint is, anybody that knows anything about Flint, is gritty. It's the bottom of the bottom. Like, you don't hear stories about Flint because we know not to speak on it. You know what I mean? Like, it's just that hood life is hard coming up there. And I appreciate Flint because it gave me the drive and the motivation to soar in life. You know what I mean? Like, there's a certain quality that everybody that I know from Flint has. Like, we're hungry. And it don't matter how much you rise, how much you gain, how successful you are, it's like an insatiable hunger. You always want more. And I feel like Flint put that in us. Flint planted that seed. And some people take it left, we took it right. We took it the right way. You know, we invested in these books and we're taking it to the top. And I feel like if I was from anywhere else, I don't feel like that I would have been bred the same way. Like, Flint breeds you kind of to be a wolf. There are no good guys in Flint, or girls. It's not just, you know, gender specific. There are no good guys. Like, it's like the bad guys against the bad guys. Like, you have to be a wolf. You have to be a shark. So to take that mentality into a business atmosphere, it's gonna eat you up. You know, like, I mean, I know that sounds bad, but it's kind of like it breeds you to sink or swim, and we just chose to swim.
Well, we have a recipe, you know. Like, I stay in my lane, she stays in hers. Like, we offer something that no other author on this level can offer. We give you a realistic viewpoint. Like, no one can write about a man like a man. Nobody can write about a hustler like a hustler. Alright, now the flip side of the coin, nobody can write about a down chick like a real down chick. Nobody knows how that money feels clapping through your finger, you know what I'm saying? Unless you've really been through it. And Ashley has counted $100,000 before the book deal. And it's like certain things that you have to experience. that nobody can emulate, because I'm telling it from a man point of view and she's telling it from a female point of view, and that's what we offer. You know, I stay in my lane. I write about what I know, and from the male perspective, and vice versa, she does it for the female, and we flow together. You know what I'm saying? So it's not really hard as people think. You know, when we have a connection outside of the pages, so it's not that hard, because we flow together in life. So why wouldn't we flow together at work? You know.
So you spoke about going to school together. What school did you guys go to? What did you study? And do you think a formal education enhanced or diluted your natural talent for writing?
Well, first and foremost, we went to Fair State University. That's a small college in Michigan. We both transferred to U of M. And from day one, our objective was to get an education, because before the books thing, we were determined to be successful. And we knew, as two young black students, or two young black people from the ghetto of Flint, Michigan, we increased our odds tremendously by attending college. So when we met at 16, we were already planning on going to college together. Even though I was in the street hustling hard, she called me at 7 o'clock in the morning to wake me up to go to school. So without a doubt in my mind, we were going to graduate college, and if we weren't writers, we would be something else successful. So that's just the drive that we had. I have a thing for aggressive women. My wife had to be aggressive, had to be intelligent. You know, I need a Michelle Obama. I don't need just a stay at home mom. I need somebody to go and get it to match my ferocity. You understand what I'm saying? So I got that in her. Like, she would be successful without me, without a doubt. She'd be successful without me, but I would be successful without her too. And we put that together. We made something special. We don't got that corny love. We got real love. You understand what I'm saying? Like, we don't. It ain't all about holding hands. We get money together. You understand? Like, this my best friend. So when it's time for work, we turn on that business hat and we discuss, and we make hustler movies. And just a plus to that we are married. You know what I'm saying? But before all the glitz and glamour, was my best friend. So we just worked together and try to create something big together. And I knew education was going to be the number one, vehicle to do that. So, yeah.
And intelligence can never dilute. Like, the streets have a way of thinking like you corny or you a nerd, or like, intelligence is always hood. That's always sexy. Like, you have to have some type of business mind to flip anything, whether you flipping houses, whether you flipping birds, whether you flipping cars. In order to flip something, you have to have some type of intelligence, some type of mindset that even pushes you to do that. So, of course, it enhances the stories. That's what separates us from the pack. We're not just writing mumbo jumbo, as JaQuavis says. Like, we're educating. We're giving you descriptive narrative. We're using the things that we picked up in a formal education, but we from the hood. That's where we originated from. So that's gonna always be authentic. Like, it's nothing wrong with being intelligent and from the hood. Like, I hate that. That's a stigma where we come from. Like, if you smart, you corny, because I'm the coolest person I know. Like, and I'm highly intelligent.
We never really paid attention to the pack. We know anything you do and you want to do it successfully, you have to add intelligence into the equation. You have to be, like, I honestly believe if I was a janitor, I would be the district manager, the best janitor there ever was, because that's my work ethic. You know what I'm saying? When I was a drug dealer, I did it the best. I never stood on a corner. I was never the type to stand on a corner. You know what I'm saying? I used to holler at somebody to holler at somebody to holler at somebody to come back to me. Like, I always ran it in a business structure. So coming over to this is easy. It's easy. I don't need a college education, which I have, but I don't need it for that, because we always understood that anything you do, and if you're going to be successful at it, you have to be intelligent. So, now it's a new day. Like, it's smart people and dumb people and everything. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. It's some incompetent doctors. There is the worst doctor in the world. It has to be the best and the worst. So we just strive on setting ourselves up to be the best at it. We can't really talk about the the people that's not, you know, because we really think, man, we really, if you know, I really want you to read one of our books, man, and just so you see that we keeping it authentic. We Martin Scorsese's of the hood, you know what I'm saying? That's how we do. We really put our mind into it. We dig deep with our books, and you know, that's what separates us from the rest. You know, because we in a race against people that's either so intelligent they can't convey a street story, or so street they can't say it intelligently. When you add both of them, easy. You know what I'm saying? So Cash Money noticed that, so that's why we forever loyal to him.